Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The Nigeria Immigration Service is hosting heads of ECOWAS immigration in the nation's capital, Abuja. The aim of the meeting is to review the irregularities in the system as well as improve data sharing. The ECOWAS heads of immigration, which was inaugurated in 2015, is meant to bring together officials of the Immigration Service by comparing experiences and solving issues of interest. This year, the meeting intends to focus on security challenges in ECOWAS countries, unemployment, right of residence, among others. Nigeria is represented at the meeting by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema. The Nigerian military has dismissed a new U.S. report on the gains made in the war against insurgency. The report published on Wednesday had accused the military of failing to hold on to territories recaptured from the Boko Haram sect. It says the current resurgence of the sect is the result of a failure to capitalize on previous gains made in the war. However, in a quick response, the army described the report as misinformed and an attempt to tarnish the image of the armed forces of Nigeria. The military also reiterated its commitment to eradicating the Boko Haram sect and is asking Nigerians to ignore that report. The Coalition of Civil Society Organizations for Change and Good Governance has urged the Nigerian military to periodically review its communications apparatus with a view to avoiding any operational slips. The group made the demand at a World Press Conference on the State of the Nation in Abuja. The coalition was speaking in the light of the recent ambush by the Islamic sect Boko Haram on a petroleum exploration team in Maiduguri, northeast Nigeria.
The decision by the Nigerian military to review its processes and find out what led to the glaring mix-up is commendable, as citizens want to continue to have timely access to information. While we recognize the challenge of keeping abreast with demanding real-time flow of information in today's connected world, our expectation is that going forward, the military will juxtapose its release of information with the realities of the theater of war. Its communications equipment that are in need of upgrade to contemporary standard, and terrorist sympathizers that are waiting in the wings to cash in on this kind of recent missile. The Coalition of Civil Society Organizations for Change and Good Governance is therefore pleased to pass a vote of confidence on the Nigerian military despite the recent mix-up in the information it passed across to Nigerians on the ambush of the oil exploration team.
The today military has changed the psyche and scene of the Nigerian people. Before now, we used to have military, the soldiers and the bush running away from Boko Haram. Today, Nigerian militaries are chasing the Boko Haram like normal courtiers on the street. It's also an applause to the Nigerian military. What we are demanding is that government should look into the plight of the military. Apart from adequate funding, they should also employ manpower to enable the presence of the military everywhere, not just in the northeast, in the Niger Delta, even the IPOB in the southeast, the cattle rustling in north central, and so many other insecurity that is on.
Omar Ahmed Iman, Speaker of the Kogi State House of Assembly, has resigned. His resignation comes hours after the assembly was rocked by crisis, causing the lawmakers to postpone their sitting. Violence broke out in the Kogi State House of Assembly on Tuesday over an alleged plan to remove the majority leader of the House, Matthew Kolawole. Kolawole, staunch supporter of the state governor Yaya Bello, has been appointed as the new speaker. A civil society group has called for an all-inclusive fight against sexual assault in the country. The group at a conference in Abuja, the nation's capital, is urging Nigerians, male and female alike, to focus more on the fight against sexual violence.
Young girls and women have suffered for too long when it comes to rape. We say no to rape. Enough is enough. Mothers should learn to protect their girls from uncles, from their brothers, from their friends, from their classmates and neighbors. Mothers should train their male children against rape. Fathers should also learn to protect their girl child.
Government put those people there to help us, we that are rape survivors or abused survivors. They should help us, but instead they are making us feel bad. They are telling us that we should not speak up. They are telling us that if we talk, we will not get married. They are telling us so many things that will make other people to get discouraged. In my own case, assuming I was like another person else, I would just keep quiet. I'll not talk anymore, because when I went to the social development center, they said I was not meant to speak up because I'm tarnishing my image and I want to follow NGOs where they'll be using me to make money. No, if you get any opportunities, please try to use it, because you don't know where your help comes from.
The Lagos state government has arraigned 28 adults and 12 minors for allegedly engaging in homosexuality. The defendants, who are all males, were arraigned separately on a one-count charge. The minors were arraigned before Ebute Metta Magistrate Court, while the adults were arraigned before Yaba Magistrate Court. The defendants were said to have been caught in the act of homosexuality at a popular hotel. They were all arrested last Saturday by the Lagos State Police Command in Owode Onirin area of the state. Nigerian pirates have abducted 5 crew members from a cargo vessel on Bonny Island, River State, south of Nigeria. Among those abducted include 3 Moroccans. They were members of a general cargo vessel identified as the Panama-flagged Oil 1, located around 15 nautical miles southwest of Bonny Island. The kidnapping, according to World Maritime News, occurred on July 31, 2017. The Nigerian Senate has threatened to issue an arrest warrant for the chief executive officer of Glo Mobile and other firms that failed to honor their invitation on alleged complicity in 30 trillion naira revenue probe. The Senate gave the 16 companies a deadline of Thursday to honor the invitation or risk being arrested. CEOs of British American Tobacco Company, TCEC Nigeria Limited, Dana Group, African Wire and Allied Limited, Admiral Overseas Nigeria Limited, and Artist Steel Nigeria Limited were equally issued the warning. Others are Gaxel International, Friesland Capina, Edco Nigeria Limited, Encounter Limited, Edi Chemical and Allied Distributors Limited, Don Climate Group, and the United Foods. The Nigerian Army says it has taken enormous steps in phasing out any trace of corruption and irregularities in the service. This was disclosed by the Chief of Policy and Plans of the Nigerian Army, Major General Chris Jemitola, in a speech at the First Army Headquarters Procurement Seminar in Abuja. General Jemitola explained that the seminar is to sensitize officers of the Nigerian Army on the Public Procurement Act 2007 in order to improve the procurement processes in the service.
Our approach to procurement in Army Headquarters has made a real difference to our operations across the nation and peace support operations outside the country. Today, our equipment and logistics profile has tremendously improved, as can be noticed in our recorded successes in various operations, especially in Operation Lafia Doli. I have directed Army Headquarters Department of Policy and Plans, which is my humble self, to establish procurement offices in the corps and divisions headquarters to coordinate procurement at that level and collate procurement needs to Army Headquarters. The Director of Procurement, in liaison with Director Training Army Headquarters, has been mandated by me to source for courses and seminars to sensitize more Nigerian Army officers in the field of procurement at home and abroad.
On his appointment in July 2015, the Chief of Army Staff was desirous of streamlining Nigerian Army procurement with the provisions of the Public Procurement Act 2007. This informed his establishment of the Directorate of Procurement under the Office of the Chief of Army Staff, on the 6th of August 2015. Please note that the procurement process starts with the needs from the users, which makes it necessary for procurement offices to be established in the divisions and in the core headquarters. To effectively man the offices, the Chief of Army Staff directed the Director of Procurement to organize a procurement seminar for staff officers at Army headquarters, core headquarters, and the divisions in liaison with Army headquarters, Department of Army Logistics, and Nigerian Army Resource Center. This directive informed the organization of this sensitization seminar that is holding now.
The Nigerian Army has issued a warning against Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, asking him to stop politicizing issues in the force. The Army's warning comes after Fayose called for a reshuffling of the military for alleged corruption. In its reply, the Army is asking the governor to seek relevance elsewhere. The Federal Ministry of Transportation says it is ready to formalize the informal sector, according to the International Labour Organization. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi said this at the launch of Bus Conductors Association of Nigeria in Lagos.
About 20,000 yellow buses are estimated to be plying Lagos roads every day. Each of those buses have engaged the services of bus conductors. Unfortunately, none of these tens of thousands of conductors are captured in the formal sector of the economy. They are not registered, they don't pay tax, and can't even be traced in case of crime. But all these have come to an end with the official launch of an association for conductors. The minister said bus conductors will now be captured formally and given due recognition by the government.
The meaning of bus conductors must change because this is an administration that introduces change. And why the minister has put together this very serious team to visit this organization is because he believes that the message has to be put across that you are relevant and that your relationship with Nigerians is critical. Bus transportation is critical, and bus conductors, more importantly, have a major role.
Meanwhile, President Trade Union Congress, Boboyi Kaigama, noted that the launch of the association is long overdue, considering the rate of crime alleged to be perpetrated by bus conductors.
If you turn them from the informal sector to the formal, they are now statutorily recognized. Government can work hand in hand with them. So the issue of the danfo driver or danfo conductor misbehaving will be a thing of the past. Now you have a scenario where the conductor will have a uniform, the conductor will have an ID card, the conductor will be trained, the conductor will be given some kind of attitudinal change. International Labour Organization strongly believe that if you are a cleaner, you are a conductor, you are a driver, you are an artisan, whatever trade you are engaged in should be dignified, and you should get yourself organized so that you enjoy the welfare of the state. You also officially can be recognized as somebody who is contributing to the development of the economy of that country.
I'm sure you're aware of.
The national chairman of the Conductors Association of Nigeria, Comrade Israel Adeshola, also commended the decision to rebrand conductors in Lagos and maintained that this will change the mindset of people about conductors.
We've started from Lagos now. I think we started from Lazarus after our registration had been done. For you to be a conductor in Lagos State right now, you have to go to the Lagos State Drivers Institute. Yes, for training and accreditation. Then from there to the Lagos State Public Transport and Commuter Service for your badge, and we have 1 or 2 badges. Then the association, the uniform.
Bus conductors will now go through rigorous trainings in Lagos, after which they will be licensed by the state government.
Comptroller General of the Nigerian Prison Service, Ahmed Jafaru, has redeployed 32 senior officers as part of its efforts to ensure efficient service delivery. According to a statement from the service, the redeployment is to address some administrative gaps pursuant to the present administration's drive for excellent service delivery. It takes effect from August 1st, 2017. The Nigerian Navy have announced a new date for the aptitude test of the 2017 recruitment exercise. A statement from the Navy says the date of the test is now Saturday, August 12, 2017. The Navy advised all previously shortlisted candidates to visit their chosen centers in the various states of the Federation on the new date by 8 a.m.
Corruption not in my country. That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
But that's how we roll.
Let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no! I just do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
you will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people. Make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no. Not in my country. Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Up next is Business with Thelma Okoro.
Thank you, Fidelia. The Nigerian government says it expects the economy to grow by 2.2% this year. However, IMF doesn't agree with the government statistics. The International Monetary Fund says that the country's growth rate will be put at 0.8% this year. The global agency also predicted the economy will not grow enough to reduce unemployment and poverty. Nigeria slipped into recession in 2016 as low crude oil prices and oil production slashed government revenues, caused dollar shortages and crippled its economy. Looking at the bright side, IMF says 2017 is definitely the year Nigeria moves away from recession. Nigeria's state oil firm says it has signed financing agreements with Chevron and Shell worth at least $780 million to boost crude production and reserves. NNPC said a joint revenue agreement with Chevron Nigeria Limited would see the development of reserves of 2.11 million barrels of the joint Sonam project. It also said a joint venture with Shell could lead to development of a project comprising of 156 development activities across 12 oil mining licenses in the Niger Delta Oil Hub. The two projects are expected to generate revenues of about $16 billion within the asset life cycle and create employment opportunities here in the country. The Naira maintained its strength at the parallel market as it stayed unchanged against the dollar, euro and pounds. The local currency is seen trading at 365 against the dollar, 473 against the sterling and 422 against the euro respectively. It, however, depreciated at the investors' window, selling at 368.50 from 367.28 to the dollar. Oil prices rose on Thursday, although ongoing high supplies from OPEC still weighed on the market. Brent crude futures closed at $52.56 per barrel, while U.S. crude futures were at $49.79 per barrel. OPEC and other producers, including Russia, promised to restrict output by 1.8 million barrels per day until March 2018 to help support prices and draw down inventories. Yet OPEC's output hit a 2017 high of 33 million barrels per day in July this year, which was up 90,000 barrels per day from the previous month recorded. That's all we have on business. Up next, international and sports stories. Don't go away.
wrong with kí ló máa ń ṣe iná? Tẹ́ I dúró for more than 1 hour.
Ìyá mi, ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe. Ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe. Ká kúrò fún Ọlọ́run. Ká satisfy yín níbi ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe.
Ẹ wo jẹ́ ká lọ jàre.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká kúrò níbí báyìí. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú. Hello ọ̀gá, màá dọ́dọ̀ yín lẹ́sẹ̀ yín. I'm assure you 5 minutes màá dọ́dọ̀ yín ẹ gbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
You are deceiving another customer just like you deceived us.
The same way he deceived us.
Eh? Why?
Ètò ní iṣẹ́ yìí. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun, ò lè jẹun. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun ìyá mi. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun. Workshop mi lélẹ́yìí. Ibi tí èèyàn bá ti ń ṣe ló ti ń jẹ. Ìyẹn ló ń pè ní workshop. Ibi tó bá ti ń work ni kó má ti shop.
You cannot base your business on lies. Go down now. It is corruption and it cannot work. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. The South African government confirmed that its citizen kidnapped by Al-Qaeda in 2011 has now been released. Stephen McGowan was one of the 4 foreigners touring Mali on motorbike before they were abducted in a restaurant in the town of Timbuktu. The kidnappers had demanded $5 million for his release, but the government rejected that demand. Authorities say he is undergoing medical tests but had no major injury. U.S. President Donald Trump says his country's relationship with Russia is at a dangerous low. This comes amid a feud with Congress over new sanctions imposed against Moscow. Trump approved the measure on Wednesday despite calling it flawed. The law aims to punish Russia for its alleged meddling in the 2016 U.S. elections and its actions in Ukraine. Russia has described the new sanctions as equal to declaring a full-scale trade war against Moscow. Nigerian athletes Toby Amuson, Essie Brume, and Patience Okon-George are expected to depart the country for London on Thursday night ahead of the 2017 World Athletics Championship. Their departure had been delayed after the British High Commission initially refused to issue the sportsmen with travel visas. However, following the intervention of the federal government and the International Association of Athletic Federation, the visas were issued on Wednesday. The 2017 World Athletics Championship begins on Friday. Neymar is now just one step away from his record €222 million transfer to French side Paris Saint-Germain after Barcelona confirmed they have accepted an offer for the player. The club in a statement says they have accepted PSG's record fee hours after the Spanish league rejected the fund. Barcelona's statement draws an end to an intriguing transfer saga which has shocked the football world. The Spaniard also confirmed they will report PSG to UEFA and seek legal advice on whether the French club broke financial fair play laws. Former heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko has announced his retirement from boxing. The retirement, which was announced in a statement on Thursday, comes 3 months before his heavyweight title rematch with Anthony Joshua. The match scheduled for November 11 has now been cancelled. This means Joshua, the heavyweight title holder, now must fight his mandatory challenger Kubrat Pulev to defend his title won in April this year. Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.